Yes, wapendwa, mko namna gani? You can come and we discuss. You can see what is happening to our nation. Mm, The news are becoming enjoyable every day because of the mismanagement of the UDA guys. So come and join the feed wherever you are. We can talk as a people. Our nation is not doing good, trust me. Nchi yetu haifanyi vizuri kabisa. There is we need synergy now. We need to come and congregate with each other, and we see how we can raise that unanimous voice of fighting Zakayo. Hatuwezi kuwa hivi. Yeah, so join the program. Join the program wherever you are. Join the program wherever you are. And we discuss about what need to be changed in our nation, what we need to do in our country, what we need to do so that we can help our population. We can make sure that things are working in the right dimension. We are not okay as a nation. We cannot pretend forever like things are not working or things are working. Nothing is working. You have just heard the changes in the Huduma services. I thought initially we started the Huduma services because we wanted to devolve human services to everybody and have one-stop shops which could easily give services to people. So in this, I'm hearing they will now become expensive. I don't know why even sijui now. Somebody who doesn't have work, doesn't have money, doesn't have food, how they can afford all that type of money in the name of an ID. There is a problem. You can now see even cheating in the exams is rising. Nyambaria, one of the most iconic school we have in the country. Although I know it's not the only one, we know that cheating is very rampant in many institutions of our nation. It's only that saa zingine watu wakamatwi. But how can we raise a nation whereby people want to cheat? People don't want to rely on themselves to do the right thing. So there's no way in which we can build a nation out of cheating. Nations are built from honesty. That is why we cannot have any particular CEO or head who can be able to give us a good operation codes to anything, because people are used to cheating. People want to cheat. People want the easy ways out. We have overemphasized that our lives depends on this one exam. That is why almost everybody wants to cheat and get those marks so that they can join good universities or good tertiary institutions. We can't overemphasize on one exam and raise people in a competitive society who can be global dominant or global competitive. It cannot work. We have to we have to make our people enjoy education, give them what is relevant, but not overemphasize on one exam to the extent they even want to cheat and do other bad things because they feel like their life depends on this one exam, which will last for 1 month or for 3 days, depending with whether you are doing it for high school or for primary. It can't be. It can't go further than that. There is so much wrong. There is so much going wrong in our nation, and we can't continue being silent and watching people break the law illegally. Now there is a unanimous agreement whereby the senators also think Moses Kuria needs to be sacked. The truth of the matter is that it's not only Moses Kuria. We know all that Ruto cabinet is not a serious cabinet. They are not qualified. All of them. They are people with issues. They were people who are wanted because of the vendetta which they gave to the former regime. But they were not given those jobs because they were up to the task. So even this issue of Moses Kuria is not something which we should even be talking about. He will not be efficient. He will never be efficient. Mwajuma will never be efficient. He will never be efficient. And all of them. They just said that there will be no El Nino. Now people are dying. People are being carried by water. We have flood water. We do not know to what scale they are going to upgrade it to El Nino or not. But what we know is that we have flash flood in majority of our counties. There is rains, watu kunanyesha sana, and it is good. So rather, these people who are supposed to prepare us with the concept of rainwater harvesting. We know fresh water from rain is a rare commodity. In fact, our rain is so good, it is not very contaminated. Hiyo maji yote tungeweza kuiokota, it could have really actually helped our people during the drought season. Now I just heard from the TV that hii mvua itanyesha mpaka April, and yet all this water, 98%, it will go into the water body and then it goes back to the ocean. It doesn't make sense. Yes, bwana brother Benson, karibu. Mary Wainaina aliniambia atakuja na mungojea. That's the reason why nimefungua kipindi, nimefungua station. And you people, if you are not going to join early enough, nitaondoka hata mimi. Maybe tukue tunaongea tu in the social media world where people are texting and doing what. But I'm glad because you people, you should be able to join and we discuss, because we need this program so that we can talk about the sanctity and sacredity of one nation. That nation is not remaining. Ni vile tunajifanya. Ni sawa brother Benson, nasikia you want us to talk about Kawira. This Kawira thing, gubernatorial issue, to what I think is that it's like the other Embu thing, where they tried to impeach the Governor Wambora for so long. Actually, this woman will take 10 years in that governor seat, unfortunately. Yeah, because sometimes I think MCAs are not serious. They are not putting the accusations well. They are putting feelings ahead of truth and what needs to be told. And that is why this impeachment will not survive, because they are not serious. They need to package something serious. But there is evidence the gender card is extreme compared to incompetency. And when you start fighting the gender card, you cannot win in this life, anywhere globally, kwa dunia mzima. When the gender card is amplified properly and it is used properly, you can't win against it. So many of these people who have problems, they always, especially when women get problems, they will always make sure that the gender card is amplified, because you cannot fight it. We live in feminine societies, societies where women have to be protected, and men have to obey. Some of the, but these are things which have happened because of the patronizing nature of men for centuries ago. So momentarily, if it is so difficult, if there is somebody who you cannot be able to fight in the modern day society, is a woman, because of if Kawira Mwangaza was a man, she could be gone by now. If Kawira Mwangaza was a man, she could be gone by now. But it's unfortunate. I know we always say that we cannot attach incompetence and corruption and other things to gender. But I want to tell you, in the modern day society, gender is extreme. Gender is being used everywhere. It's big business now. There's a lot which is happening in the gender work, which is making so many women survive, qualified and unqualified. So it's a blue jelly for women now. And they will always want to use that to survive, even when they are on the wrong. So the gender can be used the wrong way and badly. So Meru people needed to have seen through that and know that they needed to leverage a robust case to fight against this woman. I've heard of the accusation. I've heard that aliiba bwana, but I don't understand huyu bwana naye anaibiwa akiwa wapi? You know, sometimes even when we accuse of women stealing other people's husbands, kwani hawa wanaume hawana akili, wanaibiwa? You know, these are some of the things we cannot bring them in the public opinion. You cannot bring issues in the public opinion kusema because so and so ameiba bwana ya mtu. They are not good people, even if they're in the position of leadership. I believe this Baisho, he has a brain, he is intellectual, he thinks, he can make his own decision. Kule walitoana na huyu mama, wao ndio wanajua. But and I believe, I don't think like it is this woman who ruined him. I don't know about that, but what I know is that to some extent, men push for relationship, and I still believe this Baisho pushed for a relationship with this woman. So, and that is something which we should take very keenly. Even as we say that mutu ameiba bwana ya mutu, we should also know that at the end of the day, also men are the ones who push for relationships. Even as we are accusing women, saa zingine wanawake wanakuanga wametulia pahali, hata mama hata ataki mtu, lakini jamaa ndiye huyu anaanzia kutoa mistari. They start now saying the way their heart is feeling. So and then emotions start building. So when now these women start expressing their love to these people, and eventually even resulting in marriages, you start accusing these women, whereas the whole thing was actually started by men. So we cannot accuse people because of falling in love from people who actually prompted everything which is happening around us. So naona hapa Joy Obesa, Njiro had pink waving, had pinking waving. Sawa, nakubali. Joy Obesa, good, nawapenda sana. Okay, JB, tuko pamoja mkubwa, good. Mkuje, you people, you need to be here so that we can do a robust and an efficient discussion of how we can rescue this nation. Actually, our country now is beyond borrowed time. Hile pahali tuko sasa, tuko katika pahali ya huruma. We are a failed nation by definition. Nothing seems to work in our country. I remember Kenya in 2015. I remember Kenya in 2005. I remember Kenya in 2010. That is not the country. That is not the country which you people you have been seeing. We can't be having all those chaos in the airport. We can't be having all those chaos in administration, in the way of life, lifestyle, and we say that our country is doing good. No. We have to stop pretending and now start holding the bull by its horns and declare that We need a good country for our children, even if it is not for ourselves. I understand the living generation sometimes is usually naive. Wale watu wako hai wanakuanga a little bit naive. They think that things will be solved with some magical word. But we can't be this naive where we cannot use our energy. And if you want to draw some encouragement from the people who felt they can do something and they actually fought authoritarianism and colonialism and other bad things which happened. Nelson Mandela, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, and all those people, history has judged them right. We can't be here naive. We allow Ruto to strangle our country because he is strangling our country. He is killing one of the best nations which has existed on this earth. A nation south of Ethiopia. A nation south of Ethiopia is a very powerful nation. Kenya is a very powerful nation. A nation south of Kush is a very powerful nation. And we can't allow somebody to destroy the home of humanity in the name of kura ilipigwa na tukamaliza na mzoea. Yet the guy doesn't seem to get it. There are so many things which are not working for this guy. He has pretended as if something is working. Mungoja ngoja kidogo, kuanzia next week, kuanzia next month. There is nothing he has not done, he has not said, but things are not working. All we can see is skyrocketing prices. Who can afford fuel at 300, as they say? Who can afford fuel? So when they will start selling fuel at 300, and in Tanzania and Uganda it will be at 220 or 200, how will our competitiveness be there? How do we exchange business with these other people? How do we expect dereva wa Tanzania akunywe mafuta Kenya, yet kwao ni bei rahisi? Si watakuja na mafull tank tu? You know, there is the economics of Ruto. Okay, somebody want a link. Hii link inatumwa namna gani? So I was trying to copy the link, so then nikapotea. Okay, sorry. So allow me just so nafikiria link ndio hiyo. So ladies and gentlemen, we can't be this way. We can't be this way. We need to protect that nation. Ruto is not bigger than all of us. Huyo mtu ako na roho moja. He has one body. 57 or 58 years old. Tuko na watu wazee 60 years, 70 years, 30s, 40s. We have people in all age group. People are suffering in equal weight. And we cannot suffer because of one man. Lazima itabidi suddenly somehow it will reach a level whereby we will have to make the decision which we are fearing. Kenyans, I want to tell you. Your decision sitasema hapa sahi, but that decision you people you are fearing to make, whether you will allow 2024 ifike, 2025 ifike, 2026 ifike, ama 2027 ifike, you will just come and discover that your decision you will still have to make it. Why not make it now? Why not make it now? Mtu huenda haja ile wakati amesikia hiyo haja. You don't postpone it. Even if you postpone it, you will still go for haja. People understand what I mean. So why wait for that thing to pile and start making you to run? You know, Ile wakati binadamu anasikia haja, you can do it at your pleasure, but hiyo haja ukijifanya ati unaweza ifungilia, ukijifanya hiyo haja unaweza fungilia, there's a reason why natumia haja, because haja is explainable, everybody experiences, so you can understand the motive. Useme sitaenda hata sitaenda choo saa hii, wacha hata let me just drive for the next 40 miles, nitaenda pale mbele, or let me wacha tusiingie hapa Thika, wacha tukifika na hapo Sagana we can access the washroom there. What happens when you reach in Sagana? Ukifika Sagana hata watu wangoje upake gari. By the time unapake gari watu wanatoka wamekimbia to go and do the same thing which they could have done while they were relaxing. Now they are now doing it because it is a must, and the body is now pushing them to do it quickly. That is what now I'm trying to explain here. Whatever Kenyans are not willing to do now, life will force them to do it quickly and in haste and in speed without being pushed by anyone. So things are that way. So we have to start now looking things with an imagination of what we want for the future. Personally, I can try to imagine, I can try to visualize Ruto. And I can tell you, mimi Ruto hakuna kitu naona. I just see doom and gloom. I just see somebody who cannot do anything for this nation. And it is a bizarre that we still have somebody within the highest institutions of our government still holding power every day. And in the name of what lazima kiongozi aheshimiwe. We are failing as a nation. We are being drowned by one person. Mtu mmoja is causing calamities. Actually, what is happening, it is a typical case of the Nineve. Wale watu wanasoma Biblia. The Nineve incident. Is it Nineve or Nineveh? The way you want to call it. Nineveh. It is in Iraq. Nineveh. There is a town in Iraq called Nineveh. So these places are there. So the Nineveh incident, there is a guy called Jonah. Jonah has been sent for a mission. He doesn't want. He is now in a boat. And there are so many problems in that boat. Almost everybody wants to die. Almost everybody wants to die because of the misery of one person who is not willing to do the right thing. And as the more this guy continues to be in the boat with these people, the more their life get threatened. Hama watu karibu watu wanakufia hapa. So the life of these people in this boat is actually dependent with their response of getting out this unwanted black sheep from this boat. And as far as they continue with this man in the boat, their life is also at risk, and they are also facing death and the same judgment with this person. It reaches a level whereby these people have to make a unanimous decision through actually admission of this guy, and they decided that this guy has to be thrown into water. They don't care what will happen to this guy, but one thing certainly they are aware, hamwezi rusha mtu kwa maji na abaki. So in their mind, I tend to feel that they knew they were throwing this guy into the water to die. There was no rescue mission for him in the thinking of these people. And that is what they did. The guy was thrown in the water and everything stabilized. This journey was being destroyed by one man, not everybody. Kenya is in the same predicament today. We have one man who is making everything collapse, everything capsize, everything not work. Yet we cannot do that bold action. Yeah, mmoja akamate mguu, mwingine akamate kichwa, and we get this guy out. We throw him into the wilderness ama kwa maji, na sisi tupone. That is the bold thing which Kenyans are not willing to do. Any Kenyan know that Kenya is in a slump mode. Any Kenyan know. Hata yule mtoto amezaliwa, including my 2-year-old daughter, knows that our country is not doing well. Some of the things which we could afford last year, we cannot afford them now. So they can see the drowning, the changing fortunes of our country because of one individual who cannot think right. And we can't be this. We can't just be looking at Zakayo na tunasema tuache afanye Kenya anataka. No, that nation does not belong to him. That nation has been given to us by God. That nation does not belong to Zakayo. So, because we will have more problems in the future, this guy will auction our country to even foreigners. We have already now been auctioned to the big banks, to the big banks of the world. Huko washamalizana na sisi. The next tire will be, we will be auctioned to the big countries now. Every big country, the G7, they will be having a share of our country. There is so much which is going wrong to start saying like, I want to tell you, like, in Kenya, if Kenyans were serious, you don't need to mobilize for revolution now. Actually, the time in which we are in Kenya, revolution can happen in all state house and in all towns in Kenya at the same time. We can be having takeovers in all the 47 counties right now in our country. But the boldness to do that is not there. We can't survive in that country for long if we continue this way. We will be in a level whereby we have no food, we have no education, we have no roads, we have no infrastructure, we have no services. Tell me, what type of a country will be that? And these are the fortunes which are changing right in our own eyes. Right in our own eyes. You are seeing how life is fluctuating and how life is changing to the worst as you watch. And the simple explanation somebody can say, ni Ruto, tufanyaje? We cannot give that guy our life to manipulate us the way he wants. We have to rise up as people who can fight for their nation. Can I ask a question? If that nation today got intruders, if Ethiopians claimed a quarter of Kenya, would we not fight for it? What is so different when somebody is making your life miserable, yet we cannot be organically assembled and fight for what you deserve? Good life. As long as you have boundaries, you stay in a conventional country, your government owes you everything good. They owe you good policies, they owe you good life, they owe you everything. So all these things which we are pushing for and we want, they are only supposed to exist when you have a good or coordinated government. And if a government has failed, it doesn't deserve to be there the next day. And this government has failed. It's a pity that every morning we wake up, we are still talking of the same guys who are designing misery in our country. People who cannot explain the reason why dollar is at 150 something. And we take things as normal. They have never even held any press briefing to explain the reason why dollar is moving from 120 to 150. An addition of 35 shillings within a period of 1 year. It's unexplainable. That is a change by over 26% since we established that nation. It is the greatest increase ever. We cannot be that way. As a nation, we cannot be saying that our country cannot be changed for better. No. Something has to be done by us nation, by us the people. The movement of the people has to grow now. Us now, the patriotic people, wale watu ambao wanaumia, the Kenyans who deserve the best in our millions. We have to rise up with arms and rhetoric, and we tell these guys enough is enough. There is an invasion right within our government institutions, and we can't keep on watching. We have been invaded, and we have to fight for our freedom, for our hope, for the lives of our children. We have to stand strong. We have no governance in that country. We can't survive these problems for a year. So kuna vitu za kuangalia, lakini hizi huwezi angalia. And I want to confirm here, as somebody who can photographically watch what is happening, whatever Ruto is doing with this country is unsustainable. This guy has no concept. He has no roadmap. He is on whatever they are doing is they have just decided to destroy that country. Then after that, hata wakitoka, they don't care. It's absurd. There is no any country which has ever received the inflation which we are receiving just because of change of an election. Even the US, even after Joe Biden came, even if there was a lapse in lifestyle and things became difficult, it is not as the pain which Kenyans are receiving. Kenyans have received the greatest pain ever. And now, Mark, you also don't forget that some of the people who you want them to buy these things, we are naturally rural. We don't have money. Many people in the villages don't have cash. How do you want these people to afford fuel, paraffin? They cannot. So, in simple, what we are doing as a nation, we are urbanizing Kenya. We only saying the only people who can afford life are only people who stay in big cities. Na sio at wote they can afford, because we still have people within cities who are also making very meager income. When a country is creating their economic policy, they look at their bottom people on what they are making, and they try to mirror that to the economic indicators of that economy at that time. But we cannot have an economy which people are not affording. And we say we have so in other words, Kenyans are foreigners in their own country. If you cannot afford life in your own country, vitu iko hapo kwa supermarket huwezi nunua, unga iko hapo huwezi nunua. Inabidi sasa sisi tuanzie kutafuta njia mbadala, alternatives. Kura ngwashe hapo, kura muhogo hapo, vitu ya kuchimbua. So you have to depend on in-kind economy. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to fight this thing like a hell. We can't be this way. We can't be this way. We can't be this way. We cannot watch a nation collapsing. We cannot watch a nation collapsing. We cannot watch a nation collapsing. And I say it again. All what we are doing, all of us, we are watching a nation collapsing. Why should we watch a nation collapsing? That is my biggest question. You want to tell me that there is nothing which can be done? Simply because these people, they claim they have Eldoret, they have North Rift and Central Kenya as they claim? Kenyans deserve to suffer because North Rift and Central are in cahoot of wanting to have leadership forever? It can't be that way. And that is, they knew what they were doing. They did these things because they were not responsible to anyone. They will not be accountable to anyone. That's why to them they have that ownership and that entitlement that Kenya belongs to them. And that's why they can do anything they want. They can give us any type of economy they want because they are not responsible to anyone. Because they are in cahoots. They are in cahoots of jeopardizing the other civilized Kenyans towards having organized life. It cannot be about two regions alone. We cannot be suffering this way because of harmonious connection between North Rift and the Central, as they want to say it. We cannot be suffering because of these two regions, which they claim that they are in a conical connection. We can't do that. So guys, we don't deserve suffering because of people wanting to be in eternal leadership, and their work is just, they want just to hog power, hog and shove power. Kikuyu, Kalenjin. Kikuyu, Kalenjin. Kikuyu, Kalenjin. No, no wonder they don't want to get accountable. You can imagine what is happening, even what they are thinking in their brains. Kuna mwingine hata nilikuwa nakiongea naye, anaambia tu nyinyi muongee tu, we are preparing for Didi Nyoro. That is their mentality, because according to them Kenyans are fools. Kuna wale watu ambao wana design viongozi ni akina nani, so sisi ni kufuata tu, and they design that way even without having accountability even to give people good life. Ni sawa, wacha viongozi wakue Wakikuyu na Wakale, but let life be normal. So we don't owe a Kalenjin a leader. We do not owe Kalenjins a president. We do not owe Kikuyus a president. We do not owe any tribe a president, for your information. We do not owe anyone a leader. But we owe Kenyans good life. Alex, what do you mean? Chukua dictionary usome. Unajua saa zingine tunaulizanga swali zingine, dictionary ni free. Enda uchukue ile uliingia nayo high school. Sawa? Bwana Alex, like, our country is dying. That is the truth of the matter. Things are not working. When we talk of death, let me explain what death is so that you can understand. Death is there is a physical death. Ile binadamu anakufa, mnyama anakufa. When the one which living things undergo death. Then there is another death. Death means loss of action, inactivity. Safaricom is dying. Look at their share. So when we talk of death, is when things are highly depreciating. It's like the Kenyan shilling is dying. So Bwana Rex, I don't know what you mean. Maybe unless uingie studio ukuje uelezee, but siku hizi toka Osoro anzie kuwalipa utaki kutokezea. You also need to come here and also explain to me what is happening in Nyambaria, that high school. I usually hold that high school with a lot of regard. I am still waiting for very good scores from them, but I really got embarrassed that good. Oh, Esther Kabiru is asking me, is it Central and Mount Kenya? Anyway, Central and Mount Kenya in the same is a cahoot, so they want to build that cahoot whereby they want to have and shove power, which I don't think is very good. Power is only entitled if you are handling people lifestyle. That is why people change governance, because power is connected to lifestyle. Before we talk of power, we talk of lifestyle. This person will change our life. This person will do this. This person will do this. Then we give them power. So the contract on power is on the deliverables. It's not about where you are coming from. And those are some of now the discussions which we have to change. And now, what do we do when we come? Okay, mgeni wa kwanza amekuja. Okay, Mary Wainaina. Sawa. So Mary ameingia. Okay, Mary, habari yako?
Mzuri Njiro.
Sasa sisi tumeingia hapa, sisi ni wale watu ya usiku. we want to talk a little bit here. So maybe kwa kukukaribisha, I hope umekuwa vizuri. Sasa naona Alex ananiuliza swali hapa ati anasema dying nation. So even as you give your small submission, even as do you think our nation is not on a path of death if we continue this trajectory? What is death according to you when it comes to nations and how programs are planned? Because I said our nation is dying, and Alex is trying like to dispute that. Then I can see that Chokeino is telling me that it is heavy rain, not El Nino. Okay, that one I don't know, but I know there is a lot of rain. So I don't know to what level does heavy rain become El Nino. Yet they are saying that rain will go all the way to April. So maybe Rachel Keino, you also need to help me understand that. Alex Media is also telling me, why is demise of slippery slope designed dead actually? Okay, sawa. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, karibu sana. We are on our evening or morning, depending with where you are, program where we want to discuss the sanity of one nation, what we can do best. So I can see Mary Wanaina, ama Kenya ni maandamano kamili, amejoin sisi, and I think I can now give her the microphone to address the crowd. So maandamano kamili, ongeresha watu yako.
Asante Njiro, na kusalimia sana. I like the energy you usually have. You don't give up. You just want to move and move aggressively. Nasalimia kila mtu pahali yako. Hata Alex Cowboy number 2 nimemsalimia. Na Wakenya wote comment section pahali popote wako na wasalimia. I didn't have much actually. It's just when I saw your request whether to open a feed, I joined hand with you and I said open, maybe I'll join you if time allows. Mimi mzima, sina ubaya na hiyo topic, the dying nation. It's real. Unless muuguzi mmoja atokeleshe aanze kuitibu. Najua mtu akiwa mgonjwa sana, alafu hata akipelekwa hospitali wale wanamtengeneza, badala ya daktari yule ambaye ako na maarufu aingie kwa rumu yake amwangalie ndio apeane amri ama atoe nia yake ya kusema hivi ndivyo tunatakiwa kufanya, basi tuna shida moja kubwa. Zero, can you give me 1 minute please? Let me answer this call. I'll be back with you. I'm not running away. I'll be back here.
Yeah, you can receive the phone, is okay. Don't worry. It's important. Tunakuanga hapa, but we have to do so many things. People are busy, I understand on that. So anyway, I can see Alexa leo Alexa anatuongelesha. Ingia studio, wacha kuongea ni kama unajificha. Unajua saa zingine hao wazee wanaandikanga sana na wataki kutokezea. Just come out. So you are saying that the weak are becoming weaker and the strong are becoming stronger. Then the nations of the earth are divided into sheep and the wolves, the fat and the defenseless against the hungry and the strong. Kila kitu Ruto ndiye kusema. But that one is not how it is supposed to be. We cannot be having a nation of where one human being ndiye ati anasema and you are just stuck with him. I want to tell you that and maybe Alex, maybe you can also comment on this one. If Ruto is going to finish 5 years in the presidency, Ruto is going to change Kenya permanently. Kenyan politics will never be the same again. Ruto is changing Kenya completely. And I will explain the changes which I expect Ruto to do in Kenya as he progresses. Because we do not seem to have brave Kenyans who are ready to stand on his path. Na sijuange kwa nini Kenyans don't want to stand on the path of Ruto, yet mwenyewe anataka kusimama kwa barabara watu. Ruto always feels very hungry when people want to stop, or when somebody want to stop him, ama mtu akitaka kumzuilia kufanya kitu, yet he doesn't feel to care when he seems to be changing the lifestyle of people to the worst. I think it's a double standard of the thing. Anasikianga akiwashwa sana na akiumia sana when people are not doing things the way you want, ama ile wakati anasikia akiumia. I wish he can consider that sign whereby he can be able to treat people the way he wants them to be treated, because Ruto expects people to handle him well, but he doesn't want to handle people well. I don't know why. I wish people would like themselves to be handled the way they are handling others, tit for tat. I would want to tell you, don't think that Mr. Ruto will entertain arrogance from anyone, but for him, he has no problem of being arrogant. Don't think that all the things which you see him doing, he doesn't expect you to be doing them, including even revoting. He revolted against Uhuru, but he will not expect somebody to revolt against him. Unajua, I don't understand these things, ladies and gentlemen. Huyu mtu hataki mtu yoyote hata hasimame mbele yake, but he has no problem of standing in front of somebody. People of double standard, that's how they are. Wanakuanga hivyo, but it's unfortunate. Anyway, all in all, eventually life takes care of everything. But before life takes care of everything, because we don't have immortal people, by 2050 all these people will be dead, or 2060 ni sawa. But we cannot be saying that tungoje nature itusaidie. We cannot be like Uganda, hata wanasema Museveni atakufa tu, hata akitusumbua one day will die. You are not assured huyo mtu akikufa ama hakutaingia nyanga wengine hapo. So if you don't have experience ya kujipigania, you will always be suffering. This life is brutal. This life is brutal. You have to be polished and you have to know what you want. Nisawa, Alex, I get you. We are currently and denialism is not the answer. We are not talking of denialism here. I think, Alex, what we are trying to talk of here is whether Ruto is the president or not. That is not the question. But he is supposed to give Kenyan service delivery. We are not supposed to be seeing people suffering. Kwa nini Aindi inafika ngiri mbili? Whether tulishinda uchaguzi ama tulishinda, that one doesn't count. Whether Baba became a president or not, that one doesn't count. But Kenyans do not deserve a bad life because Baba and the answers which we are saying, nyinyi hamukushinda. We do not deserve a bad life simply because somebody won an election. I think, Alex, let's be objective even when we are talking of issues. There's nothing like denials in here. There's no denial here. We are talking of good quality life for Kenyans, regardless of who has won an election. Kenyans do not deserve a bad life simply because somebody was declared by Chebukati. Life cannot change. Okay, sawa, siapea watu pesa. We have no problem of kununua hiyo maunga, hiyo pesa wanaweka. But where is the purchasing power? Why can't he work on the purchasing power? Ameongezea watu mishahara vis-a-vis the inflation which they have built. Those are the things which we need to be talking here, Bwana Alex. And I want to address you as a person. So sometimes when we are talking of denialism, we have no problem. Ruto can rule Kenya the way you want. Hiyo hatukatai. But he has no authority to give people bad life. That is what we don't support. The issue of proving his presidency, that is tier 2. Baba mwenyewe alisema kura yake iliibiwa, and we think Baba is not reporting from hallucination. He is reporting from an informed angle. I don't know how to handle that. Kama Baba anataka kura yake iibiwe na anyamaze, that one is up to him. That one is up to him. I don't care about that too much. If kura yake iliibiwa and he doesn't want to follow it up, it's okay. But Kenyans do not deserve a bad life simply because somebody is in the state house and he wants to rule with an iron fist, na anasema lazima mukubali anything you want simply because of his own agenda. Kama ile vitu iko sijui, kwani Ruto alikuwa amepangia Wakenya nini? Ruto alikuwa amepangia Wakenya nini ili akuje kuanzia kuwapea life kama hii? Any Kenyan doesn't deserve this bad life, whether you lose an election or you don't win. So we are not talking about losing or winning elections here. We are talking about quality and good life for everybody. You can educate your kids, you can do what, you can go to hospital, basic things. That one doesn't matter in which orientation you are in politics. And that is what we are trying to talk about here. So what I'm trying to discuss with you, Bwana Alex, na naona Esther Kabiro anajaribu kukutetea sana, sijui mnakutananga ango gani. Esther, unaongelea huyu jamaa sana. So saa zingine turuhusu tumugonge. Unajua mtu akiitisha quinine usimpe maji, sukumilia yeye quinine na dosi mbili 2.0. Conquan. So I will not take him seriously. I know anataka nifunge kituo. Anajua napiga baba yake kweli kweli. Unajua toka huyo jamaa yao aibishe community mzima. By the way, Osoro ameaibisha a whole community anyway. Bwana Alex, I'm sorry, but anyway, we always say that people speak for themselves. People speak for themselves. So I don't know to say that Osoro's speech should be mirrored to Kisi's character. That is not what I'm saying. But Osoro being one of the most powerful Kisii leader, Kisii people should come out and castigate. Na sijasikia hata Alex mwenyewe ana castigate Osoro. Alex, come out. Instead of criticizing me, a good citizen who is trying to do the best here, who is even trying to sensitize you and trying to make you discover your rights, talk to Osoro. Start ambushing Osoro. Start talking about Osoro. Wachana na mimi. Anyway, Esther, naweza kutuma kwa Alex, inakaa mna flus kidogo, so pitisha hiyo ujumbe, mwambie he has more job to deal with Osoro than to deal with me. So Karen, Ruto amepima wa Kenya, akaona ni wajinga, sasa anafanya chochote. Now Alex has started now coming home. Alex has started coming home. An excellent topic, Jiro. I must discuss for anyone concerned about the direction our country has taken. Jiro, you are an intellectual person. The panel is in what of a futuristic mindset. Anyway, sijaisikia mtu mwingine ameniambia hivyo. Majority ya wale watu wengi sana wananiongeleshanga tu, wananiambianga na unanilipa ndeni yangu nini? Even my exes have never said this. Alex, unataka nini bwana? Hata ukiongea vizuri kunihusu sitakulipa. So Esther Kabiro, let me know ako state gani? Oh, okay. Ni sawa. Ako huko kwa baridi huko. You know where you huko kwa baridi huko. Sasa anangojea kugongwa na winter vizuri. Unajua maybe pengine Alex amegongwa na winter kichwa ndio nobi imenini. Ndio nobi imefunguka kidogo. Unajua we usually have some of our people we usually have some of our people, baridi kianzia msipoanzia kuwapea dawa wanaanzia hata night walking. So Alex is doing night walking in our media. So Alex, at Esther Kabiro, whenever I comment, Jiro is automatically offended. So, but Alex, don't worry, we are here together. So I have to follow you because unajua mkono yako ni kama inaumianga, huwezi kaa bila kucomment. So anyway, we are moving on well. I'm waiting for people. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have to defend and fix this nation. We cannot allow our nation to die. Hmm? We cannot allow our nation to die. If there is one thing which you can do, or if there is one thing which, let me put it this way, if there is one thing which you owe your children and the children of your children, is a good nation. Your children do not owe you money. Your children do not. If there is something which your children owe you, is a good and safe country. If you can be able to do everything and you don't pass, yani ati watoto wako in 2050 and 2070 waku wangu wanasoma stories za how good Kenya was, and in 2070 they are in hell, you will have failed them. If there is the greatest, because you don't need to leave money to them, but if you leave a good nation for them, they can be able to build their own fortune. It's that simple. Sio lazima. What your parents owe you is a good transformative country. All what you need is a good boundaries. The reason why people in the US feel good to be called the United States is because they have a country they are proud of. Sio sababu ya ile pesa iko hapo. So if there is something which you owe so dear to your people, is a serious country, and we cannot stand on a platform which is not filtered well. So can we, even if Esther Kabiro, even if you don't want a country for yourself, please do it for your children and the children of your children. Please, we have to. So saa zingine when we are mouthing here, we are not just mouthing here because we don't have time. Is expensive, but we want to become a moral support to the people who want to do the right thing for our nation. We want to become that moral compass of the people who can be able to explain and elaborate things to our people. At least it is better. You can remember when Zakayo was sprouting lies everywhere. At least siku hizi I'm so happy, hata nakutana na mtu ya UDA, manaona hata watu wa UDA siku hizi hata wananyamaza tu. At least it has taken long for them to discover the lies, but finally I want to tell you, even Rachel Ruto himself, I'm double sure he doesn't believe his husband. I'm double sure aamini vitu zingine. Anyway, making a promise is so simple, fulfilling it. So no wonder namtetea, niko huko pia. Okay. Sawa sawa Kabiro. So mutafutane, joints ni mingi, mkulanie pizza hapo, or something else. Na mkitaka naweza watumanishia managu. You know Alex is fond of managu. Alex, unapenda nini? Managu na nini? Managu gari omena? What's your staple food? I don't know, but as a Kisii man, maybe matoke. Okay, Njiro, there was a time we became Ron Rangers because of the boldness to say Baba has done wrong. Okay, where I was bashed, hadi picha zangu zikazunguka mtandao. Sasa sijui ni mtandao ama ni mtandao. Okay, hey Alex, na usikuwa huko pahali. I hope Alex naongea na wewe. I'm not speaking with Alex Star. So, you know, we human beings have two elements. I hope I'm speaking with Alex, not Alex Star. I hope siongei na Alex wa whiskey. Yeah. I hope I'm not reading vodka power. Esther Kamiro, can you try to analyze for me this person? Huyu ni Alex ama ni Alex wa vodka? For a seed to achieve its greatest kwanza watu wakiwa hiyo that level ndio wanatoanga kizungu kama hii. Bwana Alex, hii kizungu ijasindiliwa. For a seed to achieve its greatest expression, it must come completely undone. No. Alex, you are somewhere. Tuambie uko wapi? Hauko kwa nyumba. You are not babysitting. There is something you are doing. Na sijasema. The shell crab. This is not normal English. Hii sio English inaweza toka ati mtu akiwa ameketi hapo ati akuwa anasoma kitabu. No. Okay. So Kabiro, can you hebu jaribu kutuchunguzia Alexa kwa wapi, sababu unajua anaweza tusumbua hapa, kumbe tunadiru na Alex wa vikombe, Alex wa ikombe. Anyway, ni sawa guys, allow fun to be here. Na mbona watu hataki kuingia? You people, you want me to be here just alone? Ama mnataka nikae hapa tu na monologue tu hivi tu peke yake? So pia wase wa comment hawataki kuongea. Why? But at least I can see our audience is rising up. We are at 36, which is okay. So anyway, what I was saying is that we owe everything to our children. Even actually, the reason why even I fight for this nation so high, it is because of the future of my children. Yeah. I've lived close to half of my life. At least I've faced some regimes which were not Ruto, but my children could face, if I'm not serious, my children could face Ruto and the aftermath of Ruto for half of their lifetime. Can they handle that? Already mimi mwaka moja, I feel pain. Unajua saa zingine in mathematics kuna kitu naitanga extrapolation. Alex, can you define to us what is extrapolation? In mathematics kuna kitu tunaitanga extrapolation and interpolation. Extrapolation is where you can use the existing behavior to predict something which is not there. Like tunakupea data, then utumie hiyo data kupredict. So already Ruto ashatupea data yake ya mwaka moja. So you cannot extrapolate ujue in his third year what will be happening. You cannot extrapolate ujue Ruto by the time you will be seeking a second term what will be happening. There is no hope here. Me, I've already extrapolated, and I can tell you it is doom and gloom, gnashing of teeth. This guy is simply building a hell in our nation. It's unfortunate. We used to think, Alex, now I know you are a traveler. Traveling is a fun moment. Can you imagine uko Charles de Gaulle International Airport, Schiphol, London International Airport, huko kote, New York International Airport, JKF, ama kule Los Angeles, fun airport, big TVs, napiga line pale, sijui duty free shops nini, VIP gates, hizo my airport, unaona, kufika tu Kenya tu hivi, gnashing of teeth. Imagine I've looked at images of people in the airport. Wako hivi. Since when? Since when was traveling and being in the airport a sober mood? Since when? Huh? Watu JKI watu wako hivi manzi. Matanga mood. Alex, you need to explain to me that we cannot be traveling is a fun moment. You cannot introduce stress to travelers. People have been in so much stress. So the preparation of joining the people you are visiting starts when you are traveling. That concerns which you are creating in your mind. Hey, nitakutana na so and so, nitakutana na so and so. Unaanzia headache pale kwa nini? Kwa queue. Let me hear what Alex is saying. Jiro, the current political script in Kenya is emotionally raw. Beautifully short and absolutely heartbreaking. Jiro, good night proof. I have to get up early. I will. Okay, ni sawa. Na ubebe, you can just. How many ounces do you want to carry? You can carry 15 ounces. 15 ounces are enough. Nakupimia, naona between 10 and 15 ounces can give you a good night based on what I'm saying. So, okay, interpolation is the act of estimating a value within two known. Yes, unaona sasa. Yeah, unaleta kizungu sasa. Good. That's what I was saying. Now we can interpolate who Ruto is now based on what he has given us. So we can use now the existing information to tell us what will happen in the third and the fourth year, and it is gloom and doom. Watu washaanzia kulia kwa airport sasa. That crying could even go far. Unajua tulianzia kulia kwa manyumba kitchen pale, hatuwezi pika unga. Sasa watu wameanzia kulia kwa airport. Sasa sport za kulia ni vile zitaendelea kuongezeka. So tunalia kwa nyumba tukipika sababu una unga. Ukitravel unalia. Sasa ukiwa kwa matatu unalia sababu makanga anakuambia ongezea 30 bob, fare imepanda. So unalia ukiwa kwa gari, alafu sasa unalia sasa ukiwa kwa airport. Sasa hizo sport za kulia zinaongezeka. Sasa unalia ukiwa kwa ID, ofisi ya ID. Ukienda pale unasema ID yako imepotea, leta 2,000, unalia Huduma Center. So ukiingia kwa Huduma Center hakuna smile, unalilia huko. Sasa the next place sasa tutaanzia kulilia sasa. He is looking for avenues where people are going in big numbers. Watu wataanzia kulia kwa kanisa, watu watalia mochari. Now people will start crying everywhere. Anyway, so ni sport za kulilia sasa tu zina. So just make sure, but anyway, hakuna vile hiyo mtego utakuwa somewhere within all those places pali ya kulilia. You not miss a sport ya kulia. So you guys you better do the noble thing bwana. Hata mimi nimechoka bwana, munisaidie bwana. I live in stress because you people, you don't want to act. What is your problem, Kenyans? Why are you people putting me in stress because you don't want to act? Munataka niwasaidie na nini? Kama ni crowd ya kutokezea niko tayari. What's the problem, Kenyans? Mutokezee bwana, tutokezee. So you Kenyans, don't put me in stress because you don't want to handle this guy. Anyway, so Alex, ongezea 5 ounces. Hiyo kitu iko sawa. So let me see what you are saying about interpolation. I can learn from you. Interpolation is the act of estimating a value within two known values that exist within a sequence of values. Okay, and extrapolation is the opposite. Extrapolation, okay. Anyway, but the good thing is I use both of them. So whichever the way, we know how Ruto is doing. So we can do it. We can now, between its second, third, and fourth year, we know what we expect. Life mbaya. So Alex, one is more accurate though. Okay, ukiwa foreigner pia unalia. So story huyo ni BA097. So ni kutafutia sport ya kulilia. So that's what I'm saying now. Ma sport za kulilia sasa Kenya, unajua they are discovering them. Unajua mbeleni tulikuwa tunazoea saidia Kenya saidia serikali jameni, saidia. Unakumbuka yule mama alikuwa analia sababu ya mvua. We used to think wale watu wa kulia ni all those people who are in adversity. Hatukuwa tukijua pia unaweza kuja ugongewe nyumba yako na bulldozer. Unalilia pia kwako kwa nyumba, sasa unalilia hapo only because power flipped. Power flipped. So sport ya kulilia zinakuwa mingi. Oh my, I'm not trying to be funny, I'm trying to tell you how serious things are. So B0970 marrying mtu wa majuu pia ni ati marrying mtu wa majuu pia ni machozi. Ruto anasema tafuta mtu wa nyumbani. Manzee inakaa mtaanzia kupimua machozi sasa na nini bwana, in later I'm double sure hata wafu mtaanzia kulipia. Ni endeleeni tu, endeleeni kupea huyu jamaa time. He cannot rest there. Unajua in my language tunasemanga sijui familia nini aishangu na mong'ong'otos. An animal with his scales will never live without his scales. So don't think that, and humans never change. So don't expect that Ruto will ever change, and he has already shown you who he is. Actually, any person who is expecting this guy to change, yeye ndiye mjinga. So acha nisikie so muwe watu wa nyumbani, so atatupush bana. Sasa kina Alex watafanya aje na wanataka machotara. Alex, how many chotaras do we have in Kenya? Wewe nasikianga wewe tu unataka tu machotara tu Alex ati unasema you said you want to close over. You want exotic breed. Wacha tuone travel with a friend. Mkiwa karibu kuzaa mrudi Kenya kuzalia huko. That is the frustration we'll have to not participate. Anyway, ni sawa. Anyway, all we are saying is that our nation is not doing right. There is so much we can do as a people. I think our rights movement, I think we do not I think Kenya, we have to start now forming agitation groups. People can fight for others. I think we don't have those groups. I think the mistake tulikuwa nayo kama a country is we needed to form better groups than Mungiki. You know, people can form agitation groups, not like Mungiki thing. And the Pwani sio Pwani, oh no, Pwani sio Kenya. No, we can actually form conventional groups which can actually be scary to the government, and they can help people fight for their rights. We need those groups now. We need them. I think I will sponsor one group called Mariza Ruto. We need groups now. So travel with friend. Ruto atatenga shamba kwa kila district mahali watu wanazikwa. Ukizika mtu nyumbani unakuja. No bwana, we are cultural by nature. Watu si shamba ni yangu bwana. Hatuwezi enda kuanzia kuzika watu kwa cemetery. So ataki watu wazikwe nyumbani. No, we cannot change that culture bwana. So we cannot be western as travel. Itabidi 9 months ikifika mbio kuzaa home. Wow. So travel with friend, you need to explain that. I hope it is not a joke, ni kitu nasema ya ukweli. So you know, in Kenya we do not preserve our graves. So tukizika watu kwa cemetery, si tunakujaka kuzikiria watu juu. The people who have district land pale wanazika watu, they even georeference those graves. Are you aware of that? Kenya mko na shamba kama hiyo where you can even georeference those graves. Go and Google. Majority of people in America, they have georeferences of where their grave sites are. I have seen graves as old as 1870. People are still protecting them. But because you people, you are too religious, Muriambu and graves are not important. Yet that is where your forefathers are sleeping. And somebody told you that let the dead bury the dead. Anyway, we have to respect those people. Graves are important. Graves are important. I'm from the school of the thought whereby I believe graves should be protected. So those people who think like we don't need to have them, that's another school of thought. But from the where I come from, I believe that these things are important and they are part of what we need. If you cannot respect dead people, how will you respect alive people? People who are alive. This thing goes like that. So soon we have to take death certificate in installments. we cannot be changing the fabric of our nation because of what. So kuna swali najiuliza, which one is easier to do? Travel with Fred, which one is easier to do? Kufanya hizi vitu zote mnasema or to do away with Ruto? BA 00970, which one is easier to do? To do away with Ruto or to do all these things you are saying? Anyway, guys, nyinyi amkuje and mmeniweka hapa kama katuni tu. Rex Media, mnaniweka hapa kama katuni tu, ni wa entertain tu. I'm not a scarecrow ya kufukuza mahindi. So guys, you have to come to the studio. Others, kama mnataka ni wa entertain so naona hapa BA097. And by the way, what is your name? Can I predict Berry Chiang? BA Berry Chiang? Banis? Bansi? Beatrice? Am I close? Si ati nakusorora. Hata nikukusorora si hakuna shida. Human beings are there to be looked at. That's why we say that the beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Alex, ulisema unaenda kulala. Can you go and sleep? So stop strolling me here. Go and sleep. And you wait, we vote wisely in 2024. Hizo tuende tukabadilisha pia mambo yetu ya Kenya, but hizi vitu zote tunasema, which one is easier? To do away with Ruto? To do away with Ruto? Or to implement all these things? So Alex is saying there, you are doing at least the first compliment. Lakini ukisikianga comment kutoka kwa Alex, I hope Alex sio pesa unataka nikutumie. Travel with Fred. Travel with Fred. Even Naswira, okay, be face Bruce smiling. Although by the way, kitu sijuagi mnakuweka mkimaanisha ndio. Ruto has to go. Yes, good. Those are the things. So then we need a format and a procedure. We have too many thinkers. I think we only need 1 million people to think the way we are thinking, na hii mambo tubadilishe. Milioni moja, hatuhitaji mingi. Mita. By the way, if we had 1 million people who are thinking right, they can cause a commotion and they can push for this thing. Bring 1 million people to Thika Road. Na msiniambia tu Wakenya wanapenda mashida. There is something which is not working. That is why we are not responding actively to this thing. But by and large, something has to, something has to be done. Whether we postpone, we have come to an agreement that Ruto needs to go. Now, dates and method is a problem. So BU unaweza tuambia tutafanya hiyo lini? You have said we need a movement, but a movement which cannot be bought and which cannot be listening to what these people are saying. We have jeopardized so many movements. Huyu jamaa si ati we cannot deal with him. We can deal with them. Remember, building is complicated compared to destroying. You can destroy a country in one day, but you cannot build a country in one day. So I think, ladies and gentlemen, we have never had a conventional movement in Kenya, a serious movement which can bring a euphoria and which can bring people towards a positive agenda of reviving their nation, of bringing their people to order. We have not. The only movements I know na nimezitanja hapa ni akina Mungiki and Pwani Sio Kenya na Chingororo ya kina Alex. I'm not talking of those groups. I'm talking of impactful groups which can bring people of all walks of life towards a common agenda of reviving themselves and fighting for their own destiny. We need those movements now. They don't need to be regional. We need a movement which can take everybody. Jagona type of move thing, but we need something. We have to assemble people in information. We are defenseless. Vile tunakaa. There we are. And it is not about political parties because political parties cannot help us. We need something bigger than a political party, something which can bring us and something which can even start registering some values which people have. Organization which can be led by people who are sharp. Organizations which can led by people actually who can drive this nation to the betterment of the best. People with character. People who have done great things in this life. Lakini hatuwezi kuwa hivi manzi. We are not doing right. We are not doing right. Maybe, Alex, before you go and sleep, can you tell me, why is the nation so silent? Why are we giving Ruto a free day, field day, to tupande miti? The only things we can do is tupande miti. And we even make it a nation holiday, siku ya kupanda miti. That is something which we can do occasionally and do. Now, they want to keep on telling us now we over concentrate on this climate change thing. I don't deny that climate change is not there, but it should not be the only thing which people are only talking about. We have to talk of other ways, other forms of life, which have also been forming about the livelihood of people from time memorial. Definitely, we have to arise and come up with a movement. We have to bring a movement. Please, a movement has to come up. Fortunately, anyway, maybe somebody can try to tell me, what do you think is the next? Is it because now nothing strange is now happening to Kenya? Now Kenyans know that these people are non-starters; they cannot do anything. So, what do you think will be the reaction of Kenyans in the next 5 years? No, not 5 years, in the next 1 year. Hii mwaka sasa tumeanza saa hii, ama hii tutaanza January hapa. Kenyans are still going to be naive with Ruto and looking at him and seeing what he is doing as anawafanyia life ikuwe difficult. So I need to hear, maybe B, you can tell me, how do you think Kenyans are going to react to Ruto for the next 1 year? Is business going to be as usual? Are things going to be as usual? Let me hear from you. Okay. Kanisa ya jioni iko wapi by the way? Kuna watu wengi sana wanakujanga jioni. Kenyan with love. I don't know where you are. Si unaangalianga saa zingine kama kuna kipindi inaendelea and you join. So Kenyan with love. Who else? Why am I forgetting the panel? Kenyan with love. Ngulu. There is Nguru. That is the tortoise. Who else? Who else? Kuna pastor. Pastore. There are so many people. They can join if they want. So business is definitely going to be as business is definitely going to be as usual. Kenyans have become. You can't say this. BA, you can't say this. Sorry to say. So let's wait for Zacharias' state of. I know you can't wait for that. That will be lies after lies. So you mean that the state of the nation address? Is that the state of the nation? Can we call it the state of the nation address? Or hapo tu atakuwa amekuja tu atakuwa amekuja kutupea temperatures ya vile country iko, and we know the way forward from the address, and we know Esther Kabiru, you cannot talk success. You cannot talk success. Like you cannot be telling people I am succeeding and you are doing nothing. So vitu zingine, you don't need the state of the nation address for things to change. There should be action plan which is working. So I don't think that state of the nation address is just a blindfold. Hiyo ni kitu ya kufunga watu macho for people to think that things are happening. Atakuja hapo tu kuambia tu story ya El Nino, tumetenga, tutatenga, na kuanzia mwaka ijayo. So you know the consonants which you use, ama ni the adjectives. Tukianzia mwaka ijayo, in the next 2 weeks, in a couple of days, mutaanzia kuona. So you know the adjectives, Esther Kabiru. That's now you can now fit in that state. By the way, naweza jenga hiyo state of address yake saa hii. Kuanzia next year mutaona tukifika July, that is the state of address nation. So nothing new. So it will actually be a unification of his lies now, unfortunately. So when is that state of the nation address? I don't think I need to listen it, and I encourage many people wasisikilize, but you can reason. Ile kitu iko, things which are positive, they should already start to happen. Our nation is not doing well. Dollar cannot be at 153 and you are waiting for the state of nation to address that thing. Wacha hiyo kitu kesho ikuwe 140 nijue wanafanya kazi. So B anasema exactly my point. And what will Kenyans do about it? Lying state of undress, nothing. No, we have to do something. We need generals to rise up. Hawa akina Kioni hawa sasa, mulete kitu bwana. These generals who are below Baba, mulete kitu sasa. You people, you have to get out and work with the people. We can't just do this. We can't just do this. Hatuwezi kuwa tu tunaangalia tu mtu tu, na even in a normal life setup watu waangaliangi mtu akifanya vitu mbaya wanaangalia tu. People will shout or do something. We can't do this. I'm sorry, BA. Kenyans cannot look at this guy and they stay at a point whereby they say they cannot do anything. No, we have to do something. Okay. Anyway, there is a lot we can talk as a people. I believe the trajectory of Kenyans. Kenyans are trying to do to work hard, but they are being impeded by so many regulations which these people are trying to bring. And I don't know, these regulations are because these people want to collect money, or it is filling in the gap of the money which is being stolen from corruption. You know, there is a day when Ruto said corruption cannot prevent development. Na tukasema really, there is no way in which you can fill a bucket using a ton liter. Huwezi jaza kibuyu na kibuyu ingine imetoboka, or you can't fill a ton kibuyu. So corruption cannot prevent development. That is what Ruto said. And exactly that is what is happening now. So Kenya ni maandamano wamerudi. Yeah, Kenya ni maandamano wamerudi. So you cannot corruption cannot prevent development. Ruto said. No wonder he cannot be able to he cannot be able to have any money in the government, because all money is getting lost from corruption. No wonder Kenyans have to be charged. Unaona hata hii pesa wanajaribu kuokota huko airport na wakijaribu kucharge watu. Ni katika, it's a helter-skelter thing, trying to see if they can be able to collect more money. The truth of the matter is that these people are losing money everywhere. They are stealing from everywhere. They are just in a situation where they cannot get themselves out, but ni wao tu sababu pesa inapotea in billions. So they think tukilipisha pale airport, tulipishe matanga pale, tulipishe pale, we can be able to cover up the lost money in corruption. Ruto, corruption cannot prevent development. Okay, ni sawa, do it tuone. Toka uingie umefanya project ngapi? Corruption cannot prevent development. Toka uingie, can you give me one flagship project you have done, Mr. Ruto? Corruption cannot prevent development, Mr. Boss. Corruption cannot prevent development. How many projects have you launched? Serious one, as a president? Sababu president sio mtu wa kulaunch choo na kulaunch to project ya milioni 15. President, when you are president, when you go to launch, president ni watu wa kuenda kulaunch project za billion, 1 billion. Hiyo ndio scale ya project ya president. President hawezi enda kulaunch project ya 200 million. That is a useless project for the presidential. President anafaa kulaunch project serious, 20 kilometers road at least, a serious project, 1 billion project, 5 billion project, 20 billion project, si ati upgrade na repair. Hiyo si project ya president. So corruption cannot prevent development. We will coexist with corruption, Mr. Ruto, you said. Where are your projects? You can't make it. You can't make it without thinking. Even as Kenyans have tough time, you will also have to have tough time. And I don't think, including your own backyard, if they can tolerate lack of deliverables from day one, I think you are digging your own hole, your own geneza. And the area you know the better. Kenyans might not be fully raged now, but I know when people will not be having food, they cannot pay school fees, things are worsening. I still don't know what will be keeping people in their homes. So this guy has just betrayed everything which is Kenyan. Sometimes I speak with some foreigners who tell me hakuna matata. Nawambia hapana. These days we are not saying that. Kuna matata mingi sana. Kenyan maandamano kamili. So you know our Kenyan phrase, hakuna matata. Is it real now? Ni ukweli sasa siku hizi hakuna matata. Is that true?
No,
There is a
kuna
lot of
matatizo.
yeah, there is a, so hiyo phrase ya hakuna matata from last year tumeupgrade ni kuna matata.
It's gone.
Yeah, so we have to upgrade. Kuna matata mingi sana, so it's unfortunate. Like our nation is dying in so many ways. The blossoming tourist economy, the blossoming agricultural sector, the blossoming. Yes, we could be poor in our own way, but at least we were able to safeguard ourselves into basic rural economy, which was so key in Kenya. Now Ruto has eaten all the rural economy, which is very key to us, and we cannot just be silent and say that leadership comes and goes. No, that is a bad phrase to be saying. Leadership comes. Leadership do not come and go. Leaderships come and change us. That is what happens. So this idea whereby people have to say maandamano kamili, ati viongozi wanakuja na wanaenda. Hapana, viongozi wakuja na wanaenda tu. Viongozi wanakuja na wanabadilisha. They change. Nations which look different than yours, it is because they had a choice of good people. The difference between Kenya and Singapore, it is not because of the buildings they did. No, it is because of the people they brought, and those people bring policy. That's how it goes. So you begin with the people, you come to policy, you now come to doing things. Lakini you cannot pretend that you want to change your nation, yet you don't have good people. So it has always to begin with the people. So, and we have to do things. We have to look change for good people who can change this nation as we know it. So maandamano kamili, because I've been here for long. Sasa nitakupea uwanja, you address the congregation. Ulienda kuchukua hiyo simu, sijui kama ni King alikuwa amepiga. So utatuambia, sababu naona hata vile umekuja umesmile, it could have been a wonderful no, unajua wamama wanafurahishangwa even by, we call them in a light note, sweet nothings. Somebody just tells you, hey, and your clothes look nice. Ah! They are happy. I hope it is not sweet nothing which made you happy. But anyway, karibu.
Thank you, Jiro. I'm sorry. Sometimes we are interrupted by calls that you cannot hesitate to take because we are living in a world of chaos. But all the time we are good. Nilikuwa nasema habari ya the dying nation. There is no way a nation can stand with what is going on. Najua kuna mtu mmoja alikuwa na deni kubwa ambayo alikuwa ameshindwa na kulipa, lakini anataka kujitahidi kuonyeshana yeye ni mwanaume, hiyo deni nitalipa. So he moved from one place, akaenda akasema, akakopa pesa pahali ingine ndio alipe deni hiyo ya kwanza. Luckily he got it, na akachukua akaenda akalipa deni ya kwanza, hiyo ikamuondokea. Lakini wakati yule alikuwa ameenda kuchukua pesa hii deni ndio alipe ile ya kwanza, let's say hypothetically it was 20,000. Pahali alienda kukopa hizo 20,000 alikopa 30,000, sababu lazima abaki na kitu. Anajitahidi tu, akachukua zile 30,000 akaenda akalipa 20,000 akabaki na 10,000. But where he took the money, where he was lent the money, he owes 30,000. Akajitahidi tena, akaona hai, hizi pesa sioni kama ninaweza lipa. Nitafanya nini? Nitaenda kwa banki ingine nichukue 40,000. Anachukua 40,000, anaenda analipa ile deni ya pili 30,000, hiyo mambo inamuondokea. Yani ni kama vile uchungu, unasikia uchungu. Anyway, that will be another story. I'll give it after I finish this. So anachukua hizo 40,000 analipa 30,000, anabaki na 10. Hizo 10 anaichezea, anaona ai, hata hizi 40,000 I cannot pay. So hii itakuwa ni mlolongo wa madeni. Mwishowe huyu mtu unajua vile atafanya ni kutoroka, atatoroka. He will vanish from the air, from environment, from the area. Hamtajua pahali alienda. Na akitoroka sasa, hawa wenye walimkopesha pesa ya mwisho watajaribu kumtafuta, hawatampata. Na siku ile watampata, ni mtu hata ukimwangalia hajiwezi, hajielewi, hata hajui anaelekea wapi, kwa sababu hii mambo yote imemumaliza. Amefikiri nitafanya nini deni niondokee, na hakupenda, na yeye hakufanya hii mambo kwa nidhamu. Alikuwa anaona hii pesa nitalipa na hii nibaki nayo kidogo, nitafanya kazi na nguvu nilipe hizo. So he went renewing debts every now and then, but in the long run he had a big debt. Na hiyo sasa, wakati ile ako na big debt, he has nothing, na amechoka, mwili imeisha nguvu, hawezi fanya kazi ya kulipa hizo 50,000. So what is the final analysis? Ni kutoroka. Akishatoroka, hawa wenye walimpea pesa siku ile watampata pahali atakuwa, they will even be wondering, sasa huyu tutamuitisha pesa atoe wapi? That is how Kenya is right now. That is where our Kenya is standing. It's so serious and so sad that Kenya ilikuwa imesimama, Kenya ilikuwa green, Kenya ilikuwa safi, Kenya ilikuwa very strong when Uhuru was living. But look at what position we are now and situation we have. Atina tunaambiwa superpower ndio walituwekea huyo mtu, sijui walituwekea ndio akule nchi yetu amalize ama nini. Tuna shida kubwa sana. Tuna shida kubwa. The other story I wanted to give, it's somebody who, kuna mtu mmoja alikuwa amefanya mambo mabaya sana. Aliona tabu imezidi sana, na kwa sababu mama yake amezeeka, hamtaki, anamsumbua na anafanya asiweze kwenda mbali, because akienda mbali lazima mama yake anamuita, anamwambia mbona unaniacha, na huyu mama yake amezeeka kabisa, hafanyi hata kazi. So in a final decision alisema huyu mama wangu ananisumbua sana. Akakosa fikira za binadamu. Alienda siku moja akachimba shimo, akabeba mama yake, alimbeba. Honestly, this is a true story wa Kenya. Akabeba mama yake na wheelbarrow, akamweka kwa wheelbarrow, akamsukuma. Mama yake alimuuliza, unanipeleka wapi? Akamwambia, nakupeleka kwa shamba ile nilinunua, twende tukaishi huko. But in fact, he was going to bury his mother alive. Alienda akamtupanisha kwa hiyo shimo na akamfunika, lakini mama yake alikuwa anapiga nduru kwa shimo. Akamwambia, unanizika kweli kabisa nikiwa hai, na wewe utapatwa na kitu ambacho hutapenda. Akamzika na akaenda zake. Akasema yeye tabu imemuisha, so now he can go whatever distance or whatever country he want to go. He is free. He is free from problems. Sasa huyu mtu siku moja alianza kuugua, kashikwa na ugonjwa mbaya sana. Alikuwa anasikia kidole moja imekuwa moto kabisa, moto, hawezi hata lala, hawezi hata panga, anakata hiyo kidole pap, uchungu unamwishia. Anakaa. kidole ile ingine inamshika, inakuwa moto, inakuwa chungu, anakata. Na ni yeye anajikata, hakuna mtu mwingine anamkata. To cut the long story short, that guy alijikata a piece by piece of his body until he was dead. Kwa sababu gani? Ni tamaa na kuona ati kuna mtu ambaye anakupatia shida, na tafadhali hiyo shida ikuondokee haraka, wewe uende zako. What am I saying? In Kenya, we have seen these people that they are seeing Kenyans are nuisance. Kenyans need not to live. We are the people who deserve the prosperity of the country. We are the people who deserve to live happily, with money, with wealth. And we should not be listening to this noise that Kenyans are making. But they forget the noise coming from Kenyans is not that Kenyans want anything from the government. The government is the one which is taking what people have. Wanachukua kwa nguvu, kumaanisha mwananchi hana raha Kenya yake, hatakiwi kuishi maisha ya kivyake. Akitengeneza maisha yake aishi vile anapenda, inabomolewa. Hivyo ndivyo sasa serikali hile iko inafanyia wananchi, na siku moja hawa watu watakuja kuumia. I'm telling you Kenyans, because it will reach a time that they will come to find that the evil we have done in this world, in this country, it cannot give us peace. We have done this, so many people have suffered. And people, really innocent people, are suffering because of what these people are benefiting. And they are benefiting through our pain, torturing us to the core. Because I can't imagine ati mtu hana furaha na kile ako nacho, kwa sababu anaambiwa hicho ni kama vile tu serikali inaweza sema everything is theirs, it's for the government, hakuna kitu ya mtu. Kwa hivyo hawa watu ambao wako Kenya hawana kitu wanali. Look at that. Tunaambiwa nini? Tunabomolewa manyumba, mashamba, tunaambiwa maneno ambayo ni ya kutatanisha. Akiwa ana wasiwasi, haelewi ni wapi tunaelekea, hujui kesho ataamua nini. Look at all those things happening at the airport. Ati ile nguo umevaa kwa mwili ikionekana ni maridadi unachajiwa, kile kitu umeweka kwa sanduku kinachajiwa, even if it is own clothes. Because I believe many people, all those people in that plane, they are not business people. They are people traveling either to come and visit Kenya. Some others are coming home, and you are charged for what you have carried. That means you should come standing naked so that you can pass and go home. You wonder, those people, what are they thinking? What are they charging? What is the money for? What is going on in Kenya right now? Because airport itself, it has shown a big shame of the country. How can you go to somebody's box? Unaangalia, unakuta hata chupi. Unaanza kutamani kuchaji hizo vitu zote ati ndio pesa iingie. Hiyo amri nani ametoa? Na kama wewe uko hapo kama ofisa, kweli kabisa, hauoni aibu ukiambia mtu ati hii utalipia, hii utalipia, kitu ambacho unaona kabisa ni chake binafsi, hata sio cha mtu mwingine. So what I'm feeling about Kenya, Kenya has lost it. Kenya is no longer Kenya. It's like a bush. It's like a lost nation completely. We don't have, what can I say? We don't have the feeling or the ways somebody has to portray the decency of a country or the reception of people coming to your country, how humble you should be. Now it has changed to be arrogant, because when you are charging people things that they are carrying home, that is arrogancy. Na najiuliza, kwa sababu kabisa hao watu si wao wamejitolea hiyo amri ya kuwa hapo airport kufanya hivyo. Huyo mkubwa hana aibu hata kidogo, hajifikirii aone ati ni inchi anaonyesha aibu kwa dunia nzima. You know, when a country has lost democracy, everything goes away. Everything is done opposite. Because democracy, it means that people have to go by the law. People have to live harmoniously. People have the right of their rights. But when the government violates people's rights and people are not violating the rights of the government, it becomes tough. The life becomes so hard that we cannot be able to tolerate. So what will happen? One time there'll be a fight in the airport. It's only because they are putting this kind of guard, like there are police around. Yes, people are aware that that place is so well guarded. People would fight. And then it will look like a bar. Ni kama pahali watu wamekunywa pombe ama bangi. Si kama pahali anakaribishwa kwa heshima. Ni pahali pamekuwa sasa ni kama center of interest ya biashara mbaya. Ni kama watu wanabeba madawa ya kulevya. So they are being well inspected. You are charged for your own items like you are carrying magendo. It's a sad story to tell. When you get home, unaambia mtoto wako ama mzazi wako ama rafiki yako what you have gone through in the airport. Being happy that you have landed safely in your country, you come to find uncouth people, very bad people, very harsh people, hostile. Mpaka hata hufurahii safari yako. Unaona ni kama wanyama umekuta kwa barabara. Wanakunyanyura, wanakumaliza. Where is this money going? And I'm asking, this government, this fake government has taken more money, loans and loans and loans. And if not loans, they are given money by these forces that are keeping him there so that he can corrupt the whole country with a lot of evil things. But the money is not getting enough. Why is it not getting enough? Why is it not getting enough when we know the country, how much it owes outside? We have a big debt within a very short time. How are we going to pay? Wananchi wameishiwa, hawana biashara, so there is nothing you are taxing them. Now you have gone even to the point that people cannot even take it. Airport si pahali ya kwenda kutaxi watu wakiwa wanakuja kutembea, wakiwa wanakuja nyumbani for a holiday then go back. And the other thing I want to let Kenyans know, however you hear people are in abroad, hakuna kitu tunapata cha bure. We work so hard day and night to get the money that you see us spend. It's hard work that we do to get the money. Hakuna mtu amekuja hapa kulala. And honestly, if you sleep here, Si kama Kenya, utalala nje na hakuna mtu utaenda kumwambia excuse me. Hakuna. If you don't have money, you don't have a house, you don't have a shelter, you'll be homeless and nobody cares. Na hakuna mtu atakujali ama aseme ati nini. Nothing. You don't get anything for free. You have to work day and night to get what you want and to reach where you are. Mtu asione ati mtu ako ng'ambo ati anaishi maisha mazuri. You work for it. It doesn't come easy the way people think. So nikisikia huyu jambazi akisema hapo taxation, ati na saidi unaenda nyumbani utalipia hiki na kile. He don't know have paid taxes where I'm coming from. Even those things when I'm buying, I have paid taxes for it. Nilipe tena taxes ya pili. Kwani mimi nitakuwa ninafanya kazi ya nini? What am I doing with my life? So it means that we don't have anything. We don't own anything. Hata kama umetoka wapi ukilandi tu Kenya, you own nothing. And for that reason, I say Kenyans, really, we should not sit back and relax. Lazima tutengeneze nchi yetu na tutengeneze mambo ile itafanya nchi yetu isimame. This is a dying nation. It is true. And if we let it die, we will be in too deep problem. Tupiganie nchi yetu. Oh, what is happening in Kenya? It's actually somebody not having a clue of how to run a country. Wamechukua pesa, wamefanya mambo mingi nazo, wameiba. Wao ni kunona tu wananona, wao ni kujaza wanajaza magunia yao. The moment they will say we are done, wao wataenda kukaa chini wakule. Saile sisi tunalia na njaa na tumelia already. What are we going to do? Look at those people sitting in the office, vile wamenona. Me, I would say that with no fear. Ni kunona tu wananona. You imagine, compare that man with the people who are struggling on the road. People who want to do their best, but they can't. People who are being taxed from right to left. You compare them with these few guys, few people who are taking everything from Kenyans. It's a pity and a very sad story for our country. And I hope those historians are keeping each and everything in the record, because this is a tough time and a very sad story to tell in future. Mimi nitafikisha hapo Njiro. I am worried as a Kenyan, as a lover of my land, my motherland. I feel so bad, very frustrated, and very devastated for the situation our country is right now. Kama ningekuwa na nguvu yangu, hiyo Kenya, ningeikunja tu pande moja, niiweke kando, hao watu waboromoke. But I have no way of doing that. Lakini tupiganie nchi yetu. I'll stop there, Jiro. I'll be back, but I'll be listening to you. Thank you so much. Asante.
Okay, ni sawa. Thank you, Maandamano Kamili. I appreciate your talk. It's frankly speaking, tukiendelea hivi tunaendelea, eulogy ya Kenya iandikwe. The eulogy for Kenya should be written. We will be saying the country that was. We will be talking of that country in the past tense. And I want to explain here, Maandamano Kamili. Kuna nchi zilikuweko kitambo lakini sasa haziko. They are other nation. And I want to talk about those nations now. We used to have a nation called Soviet. It's no longer there. It is now Russia and some 15 other countries. We used to have Yugoslavia. It is not there. It is now Czech, Slovenia, and some other countries. We used to have I think these days they are called just the Balkan, but there are so many countries which existed. The Ottoman Empire was there. Mm. There are so many countries which have died, either because their demise was brought by the stupidity of their leadership and amplified by the ignorance of their people. So Kenyans don't think like that. Life can forgive you because you have tolerated the ignorance and the misbehavior of your leaders. Life is not kind to people. Life is not an emotion. Life is a reality. And if you don't plan yourself well, your things will crumble. So we cannot be ignorant. Kenya can be extinct. So don't think like that Kenya is so special. Kenya will exist as long as we are organized and we are serious. Every nation is fighting to be the best. Everybody is fighting for its existence. So don't think like that if we don't fight for existence, that nation is bestowed to be there. If we are not okay, if we are not good, Kenya can actually even be shared by Ethiopia, Somalia, Uganda, and Tanzania. We be reading about Kenya in the past. Wale watu watazaliwa after sisi sasa wakuangu wanaambiwa there used to be a country called Kenya. But in their time, it is other countries which are there. They have been loved into other countries. We have to keep on fighting for the existence of that country day and night. So we cannot just be ignorant and say that at huyu tunaona mtu anafanya vibaya, he is not doing the right thing, na tunamnyamazia tu. We are just like tunachungulia ati tunasema ati time yake itaisha. Leadership does not come and go, and I will talk that one again. Leadership comes and changes events and avenues and how people live. It changes. People like Hitler, people like Mussolini, people like Napoleon, they changed the order of their time. So Ruto can change order of Kenya. So don't be cheated like ati kiongozi anakuja na anaenda. It is not about the presidential term, because that is what we always get guduna. Huyu atamaliza ati atafanya miaka yake 5, aongezewe ingine 5, amalize naende. It is not about maliza na uende. It is about somebody who wants to change the physical content, the character of our nation as we knew it. I want to say it here again, na nitaisema a million times, and I will defend my statement. Kenyans will regret Ruto. In 2070, those who will be grandfathers and grandmothers, any person who has witnessed Ruto presidency, any person who is alive today and understand what Ruto presidency is, you have answers to questions you cannot answer to your future people. Hao watu watakuwa na keti na wewe hiyo time wewe ni gukawe ni gogo, you will not be able to explain anything. People will be asking, how are you people naive like you could allow this person to rule you people for that long? Na mungefanya chochote. Future is always correct. Present sometimes is naive. We think like there's nothing somebody can do, but future is always correct. Whatever we will not do today has been postponed. We are postponing it for the future, and it's a mega battle we are creating for ourselves. If there was a time when an uprising was needed, it was now. There is no way in which we can just be having a nation. We are close to a ruleless nation. Hatuko sawa. We are not okay. We are not okay. No matter how we bury our heads in the sand, we are not okay. We are not okay. For the first time, since when? Since we had the East African Corporation. Since when did you hear like our neighbors were doing better than us, and we think we are okay? Our neighbors were incomparable compared to us. This country is ending. It cannot be this way. Now, sasa sisi, we will move from being the giants of East Africa to just people. That leadership will be taken over. The leadership of East Africa will be taken over. There's no nation which can tolerate a headless nation. You think Rwanda will want Kenya to lead them, and they can see the shenanigans in which we are doing? You think even Uganda and Museveni will want Kenyans to take the lead role? It cannot happen. So we are losing our moral authority even to our neighbors. And that one is also losing business and money. If you lose power, you lose everything. And we are losing power. We might not be powerful on the face of earth, but we are powerful where we exist. We have been powerful where we exist, right in our locality. We have been powerful. And that hegemony has also given us so many advantages. We have so many headquarters which operate in Nairobi because of that hegemonic power we had. There is so much business which happens in Nairobi because there is somebody who used to feel, I don't need to be in Uganda or Tanzania, I need to be in Kenya. So there is a lot of benefit for hegemony in whichever level it occurs. That is why every nation is fighting for hegemony. That colossal stamping of the issues. So we cannot just be undermined and say that being powerful is not important. It is. Even the Bible itself says, ile mkono ambayo iko na bidii ndio itaongoza. The hand that gives, the hand that uses effort is the one that will rule. Mkono ya bidii ndio itaongoza. That is what the Bible says itself. Ile mkono ya bidii ndio itaongoza. You cannot survive without building an hegemony of whichever area you are. You have to be the most dominant in your niche to be. You need to know that even in East Africa, Kenyans have been majority of beneficiaries in that coordination, in that relationship, because of the powerful muscles we have been having. Not longer now, not any further now. So those are the things which we have to keep on, and we cannot allow to lose that power, that domination within our niche. Now we are now becoming a livestock to everybody. We are now even being misled. We cannot even know what to react to and what not to react to. I'm sorry, we are not doing well. Anyway, I wanted to continue, but I cannot continue because people are not joining the station. So it's unfortunate. I have to go. If there was a person who was around, I could have left the station for him for around 10 minutes. I walk somewhere, I arrive, and then I rejoin again. But it's unfortunate. It cannot be done. It cannot be done by one person. So I appreciate you people for being here. Kesho tutaonana. So I thought we could have gotten more audiences, but people are not here. I don't know why people feel energyless, they feel they don't want to handle this person, we can handle him. We cannot postpone our dreams because of Zakayo. When we were born, there were aspirations in which each one of us had, and those aspirations we cannot postpone them. We cannot now say that now we can now thrive in a bad nation because somebody different has gotten power. We cannot postpone our dreams because of somebody. For my case, I feel I better do away with Zakayo than postpone my dreams. My dreams are more important than Zakayo. And I wish everybody could think that way. So those are some of the things we need to do and evaluate and see what we can do within our own existence. Otherwise, this wave of information need to be told to more people, and we also need to make even this station popular, so that at least people can be able to understand the values which we need to instill in our people, so that people can understand what they expect from the government. Just as the Maandamano Committee has said here, people do not need anything from the government, but rather we do not want the government to be taking things from us. We don't want the government to be stealing from us. They should wait for the regular taxes which we have been paying from the Rock Memorial in ages. They are things which they have been collecting from us. But we cannot entrust these guys with anything. Yet they are not even showing any moral standards of doing anything right. So I can see some comments here. I can read through. Okay, Julia Kanyara. Jiro, thank you, umejaribu. Wow. Sikujua, ukisikia, unajua at least ya wamama inakuanga ya ukweli. Majamaa saa zingine wanaweza kuambia umejaribu, lakini unasema ona huyu. Yeah, BA. Jiro, you did good. Na akapiga makofi. Wow. Ni vile ni weekday Njiro. I would have joined you. Anyway, I understand you people. Yeah, I know we are very busy. I understand. We have to keep on hammering this information. We can't allow Zakayo to have a field day on us. We are too intellectual to be piled in one sack and agree to the moral authority of one human being. It will be an insult of all the school fees which we have ever paid, individually, each one of us, including like even the 10 million Azimio supporters. If we allow Zakayo to do what he's doing, it will be an insult. It will be actually a very bad thing by the 10 million Azimio supporters. Zakayo people could be wanting him. We have no problem with that. But I don't think, even with this conversation which is going on, the bipartisan thing, I don't think there is anyone who wants anything which is happening now. Our nation is dying. Nchi yetu inakufa. We have been saying Kenya hakuna matata. I beg to change that. Ni Kenya kuna matata sasa. So please, if you meet with a tourist, wengine watu they even print t-shirts wanasema hapo hakuna matata. Please, ni kuna matata. Kenya kuna matata. Si ati Kenya hakuna matata. No. We are losing so much. Now we are even charging bottle of whiskey because of lack of ideas. Instead of becoming innovative and we look for places which make sense to look for money, now we have now to look for, when you become obvious, you are removing yourself from the niche of competitiveness. Pesa ni ngumu kupata, but ukijikuta sasa, Julia Kanyora, I want to make you happy. Ile level sasa Kenya imefika, imebakisha sasa hata kuingia sasa kwa biashara haramu. Kenya imebaki kuingia kwa biashara haramu. Huyu Zakayo, Ruto administration, if they can change bottles of whiskey in the airport na nini, hawa hata madawa watauza hawa. Hawa madawa watauza. Because they are no longer conventional any longer. Once somebody starts behaving the way these people are behaving, I want to tell you, the government will sell drugs. They will sponsor them. Look, the government is interested in your bottle of whiskey. Hao watu wametuaibisha sana bwana. It's an insult to the morality of assume all the other airports did what these people are doing. Assume what they are doing to other travelers from other countries is what Kenyans will face in JKF, is what Kenyans will face in Charles de Gaulle, in Amsterdam, in Heathrow. Let's assume in Spain, Madrid. Let's assume what they are doing, everybody to be subjected to the same draconian laws everywhere. Nani atasafiri? Who will go? Who will go anywhere? We will just block each other and we will not be able to do this. These people have refused to be creative. And this is what happens when idiots are given positions of responsibility. And I will not miss my words using the word idiots in underline. People do not understand themselves. When you have Mwajuma, when you have that guy of Kisii, Minister of Education, when you have sijui yule mwingine anaitwa nani, mining, all these people, they do not deserve anything. Moses Kuraya, Moses Kuraya. Ladies and gentlemen, tuko kwa shimo, and the earlier we realize the better. We are badly off. Matiang'i predicted this. Our forefather said, yule ambaye anakataanga akikuambiwa, akataangi akikunjwa. Maybe Kanyoro, you can tell me that it is better said in Kikuyu. Murega agea sijui afanyangi ni, yeah, there's a lot. So Kenyans, we cannot say that Kenyans had no details, they had no information. Uhuru predicted all these things which are happening. He might have not had power to help salvage the election, but at least he saw the menace, he saw the dragons following us. He saw the dragons following us. Maybe what was happening to Akina Uhuru, the forces which were behind Ruto were too big even for Akina Uhuru to handle. Ruto plus the Western powers and other people. Wangefanya aje? Yes, wewe unataka ukweli and you want sanity and you want things to be done well. But one person is on an elevated point by other forces. It is unfortunate, like this Ruto presidency was unaffordable, was unavoidable based on the environment of what was happening, on the operating procedures of the time of election. It was unavoidable. They had prepared themselves for this thing. But even if that is the case, our destiny is not cemented. It doesn't mean that our destiny cannot change. It doesn't mean that we cannot do something through our own resilience, through our own thinking, through our own assembly. It doesn't mean that we have been conditioned for doom. We cannot rescue ourselves. Hata tukiwa tunaomba Mungu, tunaambia Mungu atusaidie. Even as we wait for God help, we can do something. Even as we wait for God to resonate with our way of thinking, we cannot be this docile. We have overgiven the root of time, Kenyan. Start organizing. Start thinking of your life. Start thinking of your future. Start thinking of your kids, and you realize that you can do things better than we are doing now. It's too much. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Mimi tu nitawachia na salamu. Naona kuna mtu ametumia kituo dola Kobola, Joyo Besa, wengine hata watumi. Mimi ndio pengine kipindi hata inasota hivi watu hawakuje. Guys, support this club so that it can continue telling Kenyans what they need to do. Otherwise, it was my joy to be here. I've enjoyed. Sikukuja hapa ati kuambia maneno mengi. I hope we were able to interrogate the sanity of our nation, and we will keep to interrogate that sanity of our nation, knowing that we need to build a sacred nation which our children will love. Until we meet again tomorrow or another day, depending with how you want, may the blessing and the peace of the Lord be with you. I'm really happy to have been here with you people. Nimejaribu uwezo yangu yote. It's only that guys, it's a bit difficult for somebody to continue to close to 3 hours ukiwa peke yako, because I have to move somewhere. I have to go and collect something somewhere, so I have to momentarily halt it. So I'm really happy for those people who felt the joy to be part of us. So continue talking about the good gospel of how we can change our nation. We can be the Nelson Mandela of today. We can be Martin Luther King of today. We can be Malcolm X of today. We can be Sarah Parks of today. We can't be this way. We need liberators. You can't tell me that Kenyans, we have not liberators. We don't have people who can cause havoc. People who can walk and assemble people and make people to react to some oppression. Iwezekani that we don't have somebody. We don't have people who can react to some oppression. We now need those heroes now to start coming up. If they are not there, Mungu atusaidie waanzie kujengeka sasa. We now need people who can react to oppression. We need now our modern day Sarah Parks. We need our modern day Nelson Mandela. People who can say no. Let the people of God move. Let the people of God go. We need those people. They have to be there. We need liberators. Okiya Mtata alone is not enough. We need somebody who can take people to the streets. Not Baba, but people who can take people to the street, and the people who can riot against the government. That is what we need now. We need people who can riot against the government, and people who can assemble large groups of people. That is how you fight for freedom. Freedom has never been fought in the houses. So we have now to start raising those warriors. And those people have to be protected. And we have to start now getting those new leadership of those people now who can start now fighting for us and putting us together. Otherwise, we cannot be this way. We need people now. We need now people who can take us to the next level of liberating us. Yeah. It could be fierce, but with the people with the right vision, we can do it. Otherwise, thank you very much. Till we meet again. Shalom. Kuna vitu naonanga zikichezwa hapa. Awesome. Anyway, I'm using a phone, so I don't know what to do. Kuna vitu naonanga wakicheza hapa wakimaliza. I don't seem to. Anyway, I'm sorry.
Maneno ya kutafutana na Uhuru Kenyatta wachana nayo. Uhuru alifanya kazi yake akaenda wapi? Dubai.
If they continue this thing about Uhuru Kenyatta, they are going to see the things they've never seen from some of us.
You will hear what they call broadly inclusivity. Inclusivity is nusu mkate. That is why they want us to give them a blank check. Lakini ngo, there will be no blank check. The issues that were agreed on are 5 issues. If you don't want to take that, I told them yesterday, please go back to the streets.
Calling yourself a Democrat when you loot all the resources of your country, mislead people, torture them, imprison them, burn their businesses to us, and you call that a democracy or a civilian rule and an illegally elected government? The leaders must stop lying to their electorate first. They must stop the corruption. They must stop looting our resources. They must understand that they are not a better citizen than anybody. They are given a responsibility, a role to play to help develop the countries and make sure that there is peace and tranquility and respect the constitution of the country.
Democracy depends on strong institutions, and it's about minority rights and checks and balances and freedom of speech and freedom of expression and a free press and the right to protest and petition the government and an independent judiciary and everybody having to follow the law.